We're in uncharted territory with the Monday hero for obvious reasons. But by joint acclaim and by unanimous decision, she's the overwhelming choice, so much so that we felt she simply had to be here. It wasn't just enough to name her and talk about her in her absence. Mo Hope is the Monday hero on behalf of all the women that made history on Saturday night.
We've prepared that well, haven't we? How good does it feel right now? Yeah. We've got 15 minutes of footy to play right here, and if we go harder and faster than they do for that 15 minutes, we'll set ourselves up really well.
I see a future in which girls know that they can not only just watch the game and love the game, but play it at the highest level. Half the population, the female population, get to play this game, a league of their own, a league about to start up 3 years earlier than expected. Couldn't be better.
I'm on the verge of tears. I can't tell you how happy I am and how excited and emotional, and I'm ready to cry. I really am. I can't wait to give these girls a big hug and just say, well done. I don't care who they play for after this. I'm proud of every one of them.
Hope whip on the angle, kicks the goal and celebrates accordingly.
I feel like a little kid or a young teenager playing his first ever AFL match. Like, it's been amazing, and honestly, I couldn't be any happier.
Images not soon forgotten, and the culmination of all that has built throughout the year. And right at the forefront of it was Mo Hope. Mo, welcome to AFL 360.
Thanks for having me.
Just describe for us the reaction to it in the 2 days since that you've experienced.
It's been a bit crazy, to be honest. It's just, you know, with the result of the numbers and the, you know, just the feedback from the general public, it's been really, it's been amazing. We'd have to explain it. I've been stopped quite a few times, just people letting me know what they thought of it. It's been really good.
Feel like a rock star?
I get to play the game I love, so I don't know about rock star, but it's been a really good step in a great direction for women's football.
What about the change in your life? From being a person who plays football and you play in the Victorian Women's League to being a known person. How has that change been for you?
I think that more importantly for me, the change of being able to play at that level has been, you know, what's impacted my life. You know, I'll say hello to anyone, so that, you know, people getting to know me has been really nice. But for me, it's been being able to play AFL football, you know, being able to pull on that jersey and knowing next year I get to use elite facilities with some of the best coaches stuff the country has. So that's what I'm probably most excited about. It
would have been a remarkable week because the reaction to Australian Story was enormous, and suddenly your story is so well known to people, and I think people emotionally invest on those grounds, and then to deliver in the game on Saturday night, it must have been quite a 7 days to live through.
It has been a massive week. I think there was such a beautiful response as well from the Australian Story. Some very touching stories that came back for me off that as well. So I guess it sort of put the icing on the cake, to be honest. You know, to have that result of women's football, to have such an amazing game played by all players, and then to finish with how personal performance. I think I couldn't ask for a better ending, to be honest.
Was there a bit of adrenaline around kicking 6 goals?
So much adrenaline. Yeah. I think it mostly came from the crowd as well, because the crowd was so into it. It sort of made me want to kick even more. It was so much fun.
No one was running down for you to give that off. All forwards got kick goals. Nice. 6 goals. The noise, Jared talked about the adrenaline on the night, the crowd. Had you experienced that before in any form?
I don't think to that extent. I think the thing that makes it feel so good was that normally we're curtain raisers to the men's games, and that night was so special because they all came to watch us. And it wasn't a game after hours or before hours. It was purely for our game, and it wasn't 6,500 of our family members. It was the general public that was interested, and that was the most exciting part.
That you've gone to Collingwood, are you getting any grief for playing for Collingwood? Because some people out there just don't like Collingwood, and they just don't like people who play for Collingwood. Are you getting any grief?
No, I think people have been quite respectful so far, and it's been really nice. And everyone's entitled to opinion, whether it's good or bad, and I'll take the good and the bad. The bad I'll just ignore.
Have you received many bad retorts? Has Twitter been against you or mainly all for you? How have you handled that?
Pretty much the whole thing's all for it. It's just been, I actually am very social, so I like replying to people. So I've just spent the last probably week and a half just responding to people's messages of, you know, just being so grateful and so lovely. I'll just reply back. So there hasn't been any negativity towards the game. Nobody's been rude or anything like that. It's been really nice.
There are some decisions to be made, and it looked like Saturday was a pretty good showcase for it. Do you expect that the women's footy will now be 16-a-side?
Look, if you asked me before the game about 16-a-side, I wasn't a big fan of it. But now that I've played the game 16-a-side and being a forward, the space that it creates and it leaves a much more open ground for a lot more running, I'm sort of for it now. And I know not everyone is, but being in that game and having the crowd being so enthused and so rowdy for it, I like the concept of that. I don't mind it.
How do the midfielders like it? I think they're doing a hell of a lot more running, aren't they?
They do run a lot, midfielders, but they had great rotations on the night. We had an extra 2 on the bench because of that, so the rotations would run through pretty quick.
And the size of the ball was marginally smaller, which there's an international precedent for. Do you feel like the ball that was used is the one that should be used in the comp next year?
Look, everyone talks about the size of the ball as well, but for me personally, I think that you can overthink it. So people can overthink it. I went and kicked it, and for me, I found it went further, so I was happy with it being a forward. But you can't really tell the difference. The only thing was it goes further, so I'll take that.
You're one of the stars of the show, and that's great to have you. But what are you like as a person? Do you talk to the opposition? Did you talk to your opponent on the weekend?
Throughout the game, I've just got a job to do. So I'm never negative, or I don't have a general conversation. I've got to make sure I'm always switched on, ready for the ball to come down either way. So I don't really have time to think, more or less have a chat.
So you don't say that was 1, that was 2. Did you see that? That's number 3.
No.
That's number 6.
Nah, definitely not. I'm not one of those players. I'm just the kind of player that just goes out and does her job.
I really want to get inside the fence. Do your teammates harass and sledge the opposition? Is it like the men's game in that fashion, or are the women a little bit more reserved?
I don't think you could really put a category to that, because I think all the girls just go play. I think if somebody misses a goal, you might say, great kick, mate. But there's nothing really out of the norm. We don't go out purposely to sledge or have a go at each other. Everyone's just so passionate about the game and producing a good quality of football. So there really isn't time for that kind of stuff.
You gonna miss the Docs?
I am, definitely. Everything that they've done for me over the past 3 to 4 years, I'm so thankful for. And I've got to know some of the boys that play there as well, and I just think they're so beautiful. So I definitely will miss them, and especially Sue, our birdie. But I guess it's just the first chapter of my next book.
The substitute's not bad because Nathan Buckley's upstairs. Did you walk past him on the way in?
I haven't yet, but I would like to say hi. I've met him a couple of times. Such a beautiful gentleman. Yeah,
you're looking forward to playing for Collingwood?
Oh, I can't wait. I honestly can't wait.
Yeah.
What number are you going to wear?
23. Always 23.
Why 23?
It was the day my dad passed away.
So I wasn't aware of that.
That's all right.
So how long has that been? And
he passed away when I was 12, so he had cancer, unfortunately, so he had it for a little while, and he was my best friend, my biggest inspiration in football, and the reason why I played football. And he passed away with it got too much for him, so that was the date of his passing, and that was the number of my jersey.
It's not a sad thing. He'd be sitting there somewhere,
I
know. Looking down at you, or looking at you from somewhere, saying, "My little girl's just kicked 6. She kicked 100." And was he a Collingwood supporter?
He was an Essendon supporter.
He will hate you playing for Collingwood.
I think he would wish it was Essendon, but at the same time, I think he'd be very proud. And there's not a time I don't think about that man, especially when I'm out on the field.
Good on you.
Mo, it's lovely to see you. Well done, and the very best of luck for what comes next.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Moana Hope with us on AFL 360 as our Monday hero.